All right, so how many tiers are we gonna need? Like 5? Okay, so what would the... Okay, so the top tier will be... So this is based on difficulty, how hard they are to use, which is not just combos, right? Okay, so first of all, say hello to YouTube. This is going up on YouTube. Say hello to YouTube. Okay, so this is not just going to be combos. It's going to be like everything, like wave dashes, how hard it is to apply their offense, like at a high level, how hard it is to like defend. Like, for example, like a character with the 8-frame poke, it's harder to defend with than a character with the 6-frame poke, stuff like that. This tier is going to be some gaming. Some gaming is required to play this character. You know? And then this is going to be, you got to be, like, decent. You got to be decent with this one. And then this is, easy. And then this will be brain dead. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so we got to start with number 1, Baraka. Now, Baraka, he doesn't have, like, he doesn't have anything going on that's, like, crazy execution-wise. He doesn't... One thing that's hard with him, though, is, like, his movement's really bad and stuff like that, and, like, a lot of his stuff has gaps, so you have to kind of work around that. But overall, I would say, like, he's pretty easy to use. I would say. Might go in decent, but overall, I'd say he's pretty easy to use. Now, Devora, on the other hand, like, her combos and, like, setups and stuff, they're not really hard to do. But she doesn't really have, like, a good shimmy. She doesn't really have, like, good pokes. Her stand 1 doesn't combo on, like, most of the cast. So you really have to, like, kind of get tricky to make things work with Devora. And she has to go in on most characters as well. So I actually think, like, even though her combos and setups aren't that hard to do, I do think she takes some gaming to use. I do think she requires some gaming. Now, Johnny Cage. Johnny, he doesn't really have, like, a good mid, which doesn't make him bad, right? You can work around that. But the fact that you have to work around that, I would say, is makes him harder than other characters. And getting, like, really optimal with him, like doing, like, nut punch into the break, the armor breaking, like, command grab move, and, like, getting optimal with his corner combos, I think are pretty hard. I don't know how hard I'd say he is, if I would put him in hard or just some gaming. I don't know. I would say at the highest level, it's pretty hard to use Johnny, I would say. At, like, the highest level, it's hard to use him. Okay, so Scorpion. Scorpion, he's got, like, good neutral. He's got good buttons, stuff like that. He is kind of hard to use, though, because you got to, like, do those telecancels and shit to play him, like, optimally. And he's really... it's really rough against breakaway with Scorpion. You got to be smart with that. And also, he doesn't have a traditional, like, projectile kind of neutral game. So I feel like he's not the easiest to use. I feel like with Scorpion, it requires, like, some gaming to use Scorpion. Okay, so Shang. Shang is, like, kind of a weird character, right? Because he's got kind of like an unorthodox game going on. Like, he's got, like, weird projectiles. He's got weird buttons. Kind of like weird strings. He does have a really broke jump kick that you can rely on, though, so I don't think he's, like, too hard to play. I would say easy. I would say easy for Shang. I would say easy. And then Jax, I feel like, is just hard. Like, you have to do, like, to play him optimally, you have to do that command grab KB, which is, like, 3 2-frame links. And we're playing online these days, so you're doing it online and, like, varying connections. And then his neutral game is not the easiest to play, like, against a lot of the cast. So I would just straight up put him in hard. Okay, so Jade, I mean... Yeah, Jade is just in brain dead, right? Like, air glaive, no combos, Delia's dance. I mean, does anyone disagree? Like, I'm sure, like, Reckless Scar and, like, the other people that play her will be like, no, she's so sophisticated, but come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Jade is in brain dead. Let's be real. All right, so Shao. Shao is kind of like Johnny, but even more difficult to, like, get his stuff going without, like, extreme gimmicks. So I would say he's in hard, I would say. And I would move Johnny down to some gaming. I would say Shao is like a... He's kind of... Because his mids are like... He has mids, but they're like really gimmicky, risky. And like just to get his game going, I feel like it's kind of complicated without doing like something that can be blown up. You know what I mean? Like you got to be like super mega brain to have like clean offense with Shao and stuff like that. And then you got to get wave dashing down with him a bit and stuff like that. So yeah, I think Shao is hard. All right, Kano. I feel like if Forward 1-2 works on a character, he's in brain dead. But if it doesn't work, he's like maybe decent some gaming. But it works on most of the cast, so we're gonna put him in brain dead. Just +2 mid, like. I mean, what was there to say? +2 mid, 18% command grab. What else do I even need to say? All right, so pre-patch, Shiva would have been in brain dead, right? I think we all would have agreed with that. Maybe easy. But these days, she's like actually really hard to use. Her normals are just like so bad. Like they have like no range on them and stuff like that. Like if you're not just completely outzoning the character you're fighting and they're struggling to get in, like she's so hard to use. Like stubby ass normals. Like I don't know. It's hard for Shiva in my opinion these days. I think it's very hard. And then Sub-Zero. I think Sub-Zero, like, he's pretty brain dead, but you do have to get down, like, some pretty tough corner combos, and you have to get down some, you have to get some hit confirms down, like his low. His low is not the easiest thing to hit confirm, especially online. A lot of the sub-mains still drop that. So even though he's like, really easy, like, offensively, like, you got, like, mix, you don't really get zone, because you got ice ball as an option, you got slide, stuff like that. Like, I feel like because he does have some difficulty with his combos and stuff, and, yeah, I would just put him in decent. I would put him in decent. Alright, so Katana, I feel like Katana's pretty easy, right? Easy combos, don't really have to learn anything crazy in movement with her, fast projectile, broke jump in. I feel like Katana's pretty easy, right? Okay, so Cassie, I feel like ever since they made like her throws not give pressure, she like got way harder to use. Same with some other characters that we'll get to. Hold on, Diddle. I'm doing this. I'm not gonna be interacting with chat too much, y'all, because I'm doing this for the YouTube. So if I'm like, yo, what's up, Bobby Billy from high school or whatever, it's like just interrupts the flow. You know what I'm saying? But I'll interact with y'all to the max after this. All right, so Cassie. I feel like Cassie's pretty hard to use these days. Like, she's got really slow pokes, so, like, on defense, it's hard for her. And her mind games, like, aren't the best. She's got a good shimmy, but you have to, like, mix stuff in to make it safe, because 1-1-1 obviously is unsafe, so you got to do, like, those gunshots that they could punish. You can do, like, a glow kick they could punish. You got to, like, mix stuff in as, like, a mind game. And she still has, like, good mids and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like Cassie's kind of hard to use. I feel like she requires some gaming these days. All right, Cetrion. I mean, do we need to even talk about Cetrion? Let's just move on. All right, so Erron Black. Erron Black, I feel like is pretty hard to use. Like his neutral is not the best. Like he's really slow, and he doesn't have much to advance him. So that's why you see even the highest level Errons do like big boot and stuff. So I think he takes at least some gaming. His pokes are like really brain dead though, and his combos are pretty easy. So I don't know. Maybe we should put him in decent. Okay, so Frost, her combos are pretty easy. You don't have to wave dash, but her neutral is not very good. Like her buttons outside of back one range are really slow. Besides down 4, but down 4 doesn't really give you anything. And then up close, she's really shitty because her stand 1 sucks. Her down 1 is 8 frames. She does anti-air really easy though. So I would say Frost like requires some gaming, I would say. She's not like as hard as these characters, but I think she requires some gaming. Now Fujin, this one's gonna give me heat. Because his combos harder than other characters, right? his way, you gotta wave dash with him. So you would assume I would put Fujin here. But in my opinion, Fujin, like, with his, like, no hurt box normals and all that, are, like, so brain dead once you get down to execution that I just feel like he requires some gaming. I don't feel like he's Frost harder than Shiva, in my opinion. Okay, Foxy's spoken. I'll take the Frost up, or Frost down play. Or up play, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, Fujin, I feel like once you get his stuff down, he's just so brain dead with, like, his no hurt box normals and, like, options to, like, move that other characters don't have, that even though to execute that is harder than to execute other stuff, we're not just considering execution. So considering that, I would have him in some gaming and not in hard. Okay, so Geras. Geras' offense is hard in my opinion because he doesn't have, like, crazy mind games like that. Like Jade used to do Delia's Dance on block, reset neutral. Cetrion used to do wind. Kano, you're just +2. With Geras, you're -7 all the time. But besides that, Geras is pretty easy, man. He's got 6 frame down 1. He's got really good normals. He got Sand Trap. He's got really easy combos. So I feel like considering that, Geras is in brain dead, but I feel like his offense is so hard at a high level that I would put him in decent. Because, like, you're either -7 or grabbing, like with Geras, you know what I'm saying? Whereas every other character, they have ways to, like, steal turns. Like, they'll have a turn, and then they'll have the way to, like, either reset neutral or, like, steal another turn. And Geras doesn't have that. He has Sand Clone, but Sand Clone you got to set up. That in itself is way less brain dead than doing, like, Delia's Dance, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so Jackie. Jackie's kind of hard to play neutral with, because, like, you know, leap can always be stopped. Back 2 can always be out neutral big time. But her offense is just so good. Like, she gets turns on top of turns on top of turns, unless you make a crazy read. So I would put her in easy. Like, she's not brain dead because her neutral is not the easiest to do. Her combos are not that hard, but I think her neutral is just, like, not the greatest, so I would put her in easy. But her offense keeps her from being, like, higher. Okay, so Joker. I'm not gonna lie, man. Joker's kind of hard to play. Like, he's got hard hit confirms. His combos are harder than most of the cast. You got to go in on most of the cast. I wouldn't say he's, like, hard, but I would say he's, like, he takes some gaming. I would say Joker requires some gaming. All right, so Cabal. I mean, jump kick, jump kick, jump kick, jump kick. I mean, does anyone disagree? Does anyone besides Diddle disagree? Does anyone? I mean, come on. All right, so Raiden. Okay, so Raiden, like, you do kind of have to play smart with him, right? Like, his combos aren't very hard. They're kind of hard, like, compared to other characters. But you have to play, like, a very patient game to play him, like, as good as he can be played. And also, like, most of his strings, like, drop when they jump and stuff like that. And his anti-airs aren't that great. So people jump on him like crazy. So you gotta kind of be smart to work around that. Get good at, like, floss block and jump and stuff like that. So I would say that even though, like, it's kind of easy to teleport, run away, and do stuff like that and do his combos, I would still say he's decently hard to play. And not easy. He's, like, borderline easy. He's, like, out of the decent characters so far, he's the easiest. But I'll still put him in decent so far. Alright, so Kollektor. I mean, Kollektor's hard to play, man. Like, his neutral is just so fucking weird. His neutral is just so weird. Like, he doesn't have, like, obvious ways to get stuff going like the rest of the cast does. It kind of gets helped by his damage, though, because if you just happen to land a hit, you get more damage to other characters, especially Unbreakable, so that helps. But his neutral is just so weird. His strings drop so easily if people jump and stuff like that. A lot of his stuff is abusable because it has, like, gaps and stuff. I don't know, man. I feel like he's hard to use. I feel like Kollektor's hard to use, to be honest. Alright, so, I mean... Okay, so Kotal Kahn is not brain dead, in my opinion, because in order to be absolutely optimal with him, you have to wave dash, and you have to be very smart about, like, your conditioning and stuff like that. So I don't think he's brain dead. I think if he feels brain dead when you're fighting against him and the Kotal is, like, doing really good, I think he feels brain dead. But to actually be really good with him, I feel like he's like decently hard to play. To be really good with him. All right, Sonya. I mean, Sonya, she's got a little bit higher execution than most of the cast. She doesn't have like good mids. Her pokes aren't the best. Her projectile game is pretty good though. I would put her in some gaming. I would put her there. And I'm gonna move, no, I'll keep them up there. No, I'll move Cassie down to decent, actually. Okay, so Kung Lao. I feel like Kung Lao was a lot easier to play before when his back throw gave pressure, but now that they nerfed it, and they nerfed like all throws advantage, I feel like he's harder to play, because versus most characters, Kung Lao has to go in, so the fact that he doesn't get pressure off his throws, that's really rough. But I mean, he's still like I don't know, man. Like Kung Lao's a weird one because he's also very matchup dependent, because Buzzsaw against a lot of characters is like really brain dead. But if Buzzsaw like isn't winning like trades and keeping life leads against certain characters, like it's really hard. So it's kind of like matchup dependent. And also he struggles really bad against breakaway. You always have to be changing your combos up and stuff like that. So I don't know, considering like his throws doesn't give him pressure even though he needs that, and like Buzzsaw, it doesn't really help him too much to keep life leads in some matchups, and you have to change up combos all the time. I would say he requires some gaming. I would say. All right, so Mileena. Man, Mileena is she struggles, man. Like she's kind of like Geras, where if you block Mileena, she doesn't really like her mind games are like not really the best on block. She's the worst character against breakaway in the whole game. Her anti-airs are like really shitty. Like she doesn't really even have good normals to trip guard besides like forward 1. Also, her jump-ins are really slow too, so it's hard for her to air. She's just like against jumping and against breakaway, I feel like Mileena has like the hardest time. So I would say I think she takes some gaming. I don't think she's hard, but I think she takes some gaming. All right, so Nightwolf. Nightwolf, I would say I don't know. I don't know about Nightwolf. Like I don't Nightwolf is like a character that I don't really have too much experience versus. Now Gambler doesn't play him, and I never play him myself, so I don't really know, to be honest, like how hard it is to play Nightwolf. So I'm just gonna throw him up in decent. I don't know. All right, so Liu Kang. Even though Liu Kang is top tier, like I feel like Liu Kang, to play him optimally, you got to do like those corner combos with like the fireball and the down one, and those combos are hard, man. Like I even see Ninja Killer drop those. And then neutral, you got to really play around like his fireball and like punching stuff with flying kick and stuff like that. And he's got really stubby normals. So I would say like Liu Kang, even though he's like really top tier and stuff, I would say he requires some gaming to play, I would say. I would even say hard. At high level, I would say hard. Liu Kang. I would say he's hard to play. That might be a hot take, but... Because here's the thing, man. If you aren't doing those super hard combos in the corner, you're losing like 13%. So I would put him in hard. I need something to drink, y'all. I'll be right back. I forget every time I talk a lot, I need water, bro. All right, so Noob. I feel like pretty much everything about Noob is easy, but his combos are kind of hard. And his movement is like so bad that working around your movement being that bad is kind of rough. It's kind of like Frost. So I would say some gaming for Noob. Our Rain. I actually feel like Rain's offense is kind of brain dead. With like all the 1-3 mind games and back 2-1-2 and jump kick. But he does have wave dash, which, you know, it's hard to get down. He doesn't do the most damage. He got to land a lot of hits. And also, like, he has to go in on a lot of characters. Like, his projectile game is not very good. So I would say, like, some gaming, but I wouldn't say hard. I don't think he's as hard as these characters, but I would say some gaming. Yeah. All right, so Rambo. I think Rambo is not hard to play. I think he just kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Like, doing everything with Rambo that you need to do, I feel like it's not that difficult. Yeah, he's secretly easy. Like, he's not... There's nothing about him that's, like, that crazy. Like, you don't got to wave dash, you don't got to do hard combos. His projectile game is actually pretty good. Like, yeah, I don't feel like Rambo is difficult to play at all. All right, so Robocop, I mean... He's not brain dead, but in my opinion, he's not as brain dead as these characters. But, like, the reason I don't say he's as brain dead as these characters is because on block, he kind of has to hold shit, right? Whereas, like, Delia's Dance wins, +2, jump kick, you know what I mean? Robocop doesn't have anything like that. But I feel like besides that, I mean, he's just pew-pew and fucking do a mid, do a jump kick, air shield, do a command grab. Yeah, I would say Robocop's easy. Now, Sindel, I feel like her buttons up close aren't very good. She struggles up close against characters that have good pressure and stuff like that. So I don't think she's as easy as people say. But she's pretty easy, right? Like, Sindel's pretty easy. Like, notoriously, she's one of the easier characters. Like, forward 4, up 3. Yeah, Sindel is forward 4, up 3, scream, jump kick, all that shit. A lot of characters can't punch her back to, and then she gets really brain dead. But I don't think she's as brain dead as these characters, so I'll just put her in easy. Alright, so Scarlet. I mean, she's like indecent, right? She's got a lot of good, like, no hurt box normals. So her neutral actually isn't that hard to play, in my opinion. But she's got a lot of gaps. She doesn't do too much damage. Yeah, I feel like that's all that really needs to be said about Scarlet. Like, in some aspects, she's, like, brain dead, but in some, she's hard. So I'm going to put her in decent. Alright, so Spawn, I mean... I feel like Spawn, in a lot of aspects, is brain dead as fuck. But I feel like in a lot of matchups where he has to, like, go in and stuff, he struggles a bit. Like, he's kind of got, like, that Cetrion shit going on where he's got no hurt boxes. And, like, he resets neutral pretty easy and stuff like that. But he doesn't have, like... He has a lot of matchups where he's, like, got to go in and kind of make shit happen. So I would say that he's not brain dead. I would say he's just easy. Alright, so Terminator. I don't think Terminator is hard. I think he's just, like... Because he's got a 6-frame down 1. He's got crazy mix. So his offense is like... His offense and defense, like, up close, are, like, easier to play than, like, other characters, you know what I'm saying? But he's got, like, such weird neutral going on because most characters he's got to go in on. And then he doesn't really have anything that, like, advances him and stuff like that besides, like, forward 4, run, and, like, jump kick, shit like that. And, like, you can, like, do teleport and shit, especially on me because I don't know how that shit works. So, I don't know, man. I don't know where I would put Terminator. I would say, like, some gaming, maybe. And then, I don't know why Chronic is here. She's not in the game as a playable character. Alright, so that's the list, y'all. That's the tier list based off of how difficult they are to play, in my opinion. Just my opinion. If you disagree, you know, feel free. Feel free, y'all. So I got Jade, Kano, Cetrion, and Cabal and Braindead. I got Baraka, Shang, Sindel, Katana, Jackie, Rambo, Robocop, and Spawn and Easy. I got Raiden, Sub, Erron, Geras, Cassie, Kotal, Nightwolf, and Scarlet and Decent. And I got all these characters in some gaming and all these in hard. So that's my list, y'all.